looking at a clone question from Henry Park Primary P4 SA2 paper in 2020, question number 41 of section C. Now you can pause the video here if you want to read the question first before proceeding. Now, can you identify the two key sentences in this question? Remember, I've said that key sentences are those that help you to identify the strategies or the concept to use. So they are not the same as information sentences like this, whereby they tell you library A and B had a total of 720 books. This is an information sentence. Okay, so the two key sentences in this question are: on Monday, 75 books were transferred from library A to B. And on Tuesday, 136 books were transferred from library B to library A. Now, can you tell what is the action that is involved in these two sentences? It is an internal transfer. And so what do we know about internal transfers? The total will remain the same. So the strategy that we're using in this question here is the total remains the same. So regardless of how many transfers there are, the total number of books in the two libraries will still remain to be 720. Alright, note that there are more than one transfer in this question, so I'll be using a P5 strategy to solve for this question. So the name of the strategy is called the turtle stomach. So by representing the information using the turtle stomach, we will be able to visualize each transfer better, and this will help you to solve the question more easily. Alright, now, so let's start by drawing the turtle stomach. So let's look at the first transfer that we have. 75 books were transferred from library A to B. So we are going to draw that, indicate this is library A and this is library B. The transfer was from library A to B, and we note that 75 were transferred from A to B. And in the second transfer, we have 136 books transferred from B to A. And in the end, we know that the number of books in library A became 3 times of the number of books in library B. Now remember, what are you supposed to do when you see the word 3 times? Yes, you are supposed to draw a model. So let's draw out a model to represent this information. So in library A, there were 3 units. It's 3 times. And library B, we have 1 unit. And since we know that this is an internal transfer, as I've mentioned earlier, the total number of books will remain as 720. So we're going to label that as 720 books. So from this model, we will be able to form the relationship that 4 units is equivalent to 720, and that 1 unit can be found by using 720 to divide by 4, and that gives us 180. So this 180 is referring to the number of books in library B in the end. So let's fill in this information in our turtle stomach. So we have 180 here. And to find the number of books in library A in the end, we can find 3 units by using 180 to multiply by 3, and that gives us 540. So let's write that inside our turtle stomach as well. Okay, I'm going to label each level so that you can understand what I'm talking about later on when we are working backwards. Okay, so we're going to start working backwards from level 3 to level 2. So we know that from level 3 to level 2, there was a transfer of 136 books from library B to library A. Now, since B gave away the books to library A, so we will understand that B decreased by 136 books. So if we want to work backwards, we will need to add the 136 back to the 180. So we will use 180 to plus 136, and that gives us 316. So 316 is the number of books that library B has before it transferred the 136 to A. So on the other hand, we know that A received that 136 books from B. So that will mean that A increased by 136. So to work backwards for A, we will need to use 540 to minus away the 136 that it received. And so the answer is 404. So we're going to fill in this to be 404. So we are going to continue to work backwards from level 2 to level 1. Between level 2 and level 1, we know that Library A transferred 75 books to Library B. So that will mean that Library A decreased by 75 books. And so to work backwards for Library A at first, we will use 404 to add the 75 that it transferred. So that will give us an answer of 479. So we're going to fill that inside our total stomach. And then we're going to do the same thing for B. And since B received that 75 from A, so it increased by 75. So working backwards, we will need to use 316 to take away the 75 that it received. And that gives us an answer of 241. So B has 241 books at first. Now the question wants you to find the number of books in Library A at first. So we can easily tell that from our total stomach. The answer for the number of books in Library A at first is 479. The answer for the number of books in Library A at first is 479.